this aircraft will be in service for 50 years, and therefore it still needs to be able to keep up with the technologies that haven't even been invented yet. If you just think of what's happened in the past 50 years compared to what's going to happen in the next.
NATO just shocked the world with their brand new 6th-generation fighter jet, claiming it's more advanced than anything the US has ever built, even the NGAD. Could this be the moment the US loses its air dominance for good? The US fighter program stalls. What now? For years, the US has led the world in military aircraft development, dominating the skies with advanced fighters like the F-22 Raptor and F-35 Lightning II. But recently, something shocking happened. Work on the highly anticipated Next Generation Air Dominance, or the NGAD program, suddenly hit a wall. The U.S. Air Force, which had been pouring millions into the 6th-generation fighter, decided to hit the brakes. And when Air Force Secretary Frank Kendall took the stage at the Life Cycle Industry Days event, his announcement left many stunned. What could cause the most powerful military in the world to pause such a critical project? The answer lies in the complexity of NGAD. This isn't just any fighter. It's supposed to be the most advanced combat aircraft ever built. Plans called for integrating cutting-edge tech like artificial intelligence, drones, swarming capabilities, and even remote piloting. Essentially, it was an ambitious attempt to pack every next-generation innovation into a single jet. But maybe that was the problem. Perhaps it was too much. Some insiders speculate that spiraling costs were the first red flag. As prices skyrocketed, questions about the program's feasibility grew louder. Imagine spending billions on a project that isn't even guaranteed to work. And let's not forget the political pressure. With mounting defense budgets, the U.S. government is under constant scrutiny to justify every dollar spent. Could this pause be a way to avoid a scandal down the line? Or was it simply about re-evaluating priorities in the face of rapidly changing warfare? But here's the twist. While the U.S. hit pause on NGAD, work on other elements of the program hasn't stopped. Kendall was quick to emphasize that unmanned technology remains a key focus. The Collaborative Combat Aircraft program, designed to create drone wingmen for human pilots, is still full steam ahead. In fact, the Air Force recently signed contracts with 5 companies to develop the software for autonomous flight controls on these drones. It seems like the U.S. is doubling down on unmanned aircraft while keeping NGAD in limbo. Is this a sign that the future of air combat will rely more on drones than traditional fighters? And this is where things get even more interesting. Some experts believe the delay in NGAD isn't just about technology or costs, it's about strategy. With countries like China and Russia rapidly advancing their own fighter programs, the U.S. might be taking a calculated step back to reassess its position. Instead of rushing a complex and potentially flawed system, could they be waiting for a breakthrough in AI or quantum technology to give them an undeniable edge? Of course, nothing has been officially confirmed, but rumors have swirled that the delay could also be linked to a classified issue within the program. Perhaps something went wrong in testing, or a security breach raised red flags. While the Air Force has been tight-lipped, these allegations have fueled speculation in military circles. Could there be a hidden flaw in the NGAD design that forced them to rework the entire project? The NGAD's bold promise could change everything.
If the United States Air Force has its way, the aircraft we're describing is closer than we might think. So close, in fact, that a prototype has already taken to the sky.
When the NGAD program was first announced, it wasn't just about making the next fighter jet. It was about revolutionizing warfare. The U.S. Air Force boldly claimed that NGAD would set new standards for military aviation for decades to come. But what made this program so ambitious and controversial was its scope. Unlike previous fighters, NGAD isn't just one plane. It's a system of systems. This means the jet would work alongside autonomous drones, artificial intelligence, and even cyber warfare capabilities to form an unstoppable network in the sky. But as we dig deeper, the details become even more fascinating. The NGAD fighter was supposed to push the boundaries of stealth. making the F-22 and F-35 seem outdated. Early designs featured cutting-edge radar-absorbing materials and futuristic shapes that could almost disappear from enemy sensors. On top of that, the fighter would come equipped with hypersonic missiles, capable of traveling at more than 5 times the speed of sound. Just imagine the potential for air dominance, the ability to strike enemies before they even realize what hit them. However, as the project advanced, it became clear that these promises came with a cost. Each aircraft was projected to cost hundreds of millions of dollars, not including the cost of research and development. And with defense spending always a hot political topic, many in Washington began questioning if NGAD was worth it. Some officials, speaking anonymously, hinted that internal disagreements within the Department of Defense had already delayed the project. Was the U.S. betting too much on a single aircraft system? Another controversial feature was NGAD's heavy reliance on artificial intelligence. The idea was for AI to assist in combat decision-making, helping pilots react faster than humanly possible. But critics raise concerns about giving AI too much control over lethal weapons. What if the system malfunctioned? Or worse, what if it was hacked? These are no small questions when you're dealing with military-grade technology. The inclusion of drone swarms added another layer of complexity. These drones would act as loyal wingmen for the NGAD fighter, assisting in reconnaissance, electronic warfare, and even offensive strikes. But getting autonomous drones to work seamlessly with a manned fighter has proven to be a massive challenge. After all, the technology to ensure perfect coordination between drones and pilots doesn't fully exist yet. What happens if the drones fail to respond in real time during a critical mission? Despite these hurdles, the U.S. Air Force seemed confident that NGAD would redefine air combat. For a time, it looked like the project was full steam ahead. Test flights were rumored to have taken place, and military insiders claimed early results were promising. But in the background, there were growing whispers of trouble, rising costs, technical issues, and the complexity of integrating so many advanced technologies seemed to be causing delays. And then came the bombshell, news that the U.S. was pausing development. While officials tried to reassure the public that NGAD wasn't canceled, the sudden halt left many wondering what had gone wrong. Could it be that the Air Force had bitten off more than it could chew? Or was there an even deeper issue behind the scenes that forced this unexpected decision? Tempest fighter revolution shocks the world.
This aircraft will be in service for 50 years, and therefore it still needs to be able to keep up with the technologies that haven't even been invented yet. If you just think of what's happened in the past 50 years compared to what's going to happen in the next.
While the U.S. wrestles with the complexities of NGAD, across the Atlantic, a new player has entered the scene. The UK's Tempest fighter program is making waves, and some believe it could be the future of air combat. The Tempest project, which also involves Italy and Japan, is aiming to create a fighter jet so advanced that it could challenge U.S. dominance in the skies. And what makes this even more shocking? It's happening fast. Unlike NGAD, which has hit roadblock after roadblock, the Tempest program is gaining momentum. So what sets Tempest apart? First, let's talk about its design. Revealed at the Farnborough Air Show, the Tempest fighter features a sleek, futuristic look that immediately captured attention. With its unique crank delta wing and cutting-edge stealth technology, it's built to evade even the most sophisticated radar systems. But that's just the surface. What really makes Tempest stand out are the advanced technologies it's bringing to the table. Tempest isn't just about flying fast and staying hidden. It's designed to integrate artificial intelligence in ways we've never seen before. Pilots will have access to a virtual cockpit right inside their helmets, using augmented reality to display critical information in real time. This is more than just a heads-up display. It's like having an entire control room inside the pilot's visor. And if that wasn't enough, Tempest will also be equipped with swarming drones, much like the NGAD, to serve as wingmen in combat missions. But here's where things get really interesting. Tempest is set to include directed energy weapons. Yes, we're talking about combat lasers. It sounds like science fiction, But British officials have confirmed that these systems are in development. Imagine a fighter jet shooting down missiles or enemy aircraft with a laser beam. It seems incredible, but the UK is serious about making it happen. Of course, the Tempest project hasn't been without its own controversies. Early on, skeptics doubted that the UK could pull off such an ambitious project. After all, the last time the UK tried to build its own advanced fighter jet, the program was scrapped in favor of buying F-35s from the US. But this time, things are different. With Italy and Japan on board, the Tempest program has gained international backing, and experts are starting to believe that it could actually deliver on its promises. There's also the issue of competition. Some say that the Tempest was Britain's direct response to France and Germany's Future Combat Air System, or FCS, a rival sixth-generation fighter project. The Brexit fallout only intensified this rivalry, with Britain eager to prove it could go it alone, or at least with its chosen partners. The Tempest versus FCAS competition has turned into a high-stakes race for air superiority in Europe, and it's only heating up. The question remains, who will get there first? Tempest's success isn't just about technical innovation, it's about strategic alliances. Italy, which joined the project in 2019, is heavily involved in developing the avionics, while Japan brings its own expertise in radar systems and advanced materials. This international collaboration has sped up development significantly, with reports suggesting that the first prototype could be airborne by the early 2030s. Given the setbacks with NGAD, could Tempest be poised to surpass the US in the race for the ultimate fighter jet? Yet, despite its rapid progress, Tempest faces its own set of challenges. Critics have pointed out the enormous costs involved, and there's still uncertainty about who will actually manufacture the final aircraft. Will it be built in the UK? Or will Japan and Italy demand a larger share of the production pie? With billions on the line, the financial and political stakes are enormous. But one thing is clear: the Tempest fighter is no longer just a concept on paper. It's moving forward at an incredible pace, and if successful, it could shift the balance of power in global air combat. So, as Tempest takes flight, could it become the next dominant force in military aviation? Or will it face unexpected turbulence along the way? GCAP gains speed while rivals struggle. While the US grapples with the delays and budget concerns surrounding NGAD, and the UK moves forward with Tempest, a new contender has quietly emerged from the shadows: the Global Combat Air Program, or GCAP. This collaboration between the UK, Japan, and Italy has been gaining serious traction, and some experts believe it could become the true dark horse in the race for sixth-generation air supremacy. At its core, GCAP is a strategic alliance meant to combine the best of British, Japanese, and Italian aviation technologies. But unlike other fighter jet programs, GCAP is not just focused on producing one single aircraft. It's about creating a whole new approach to air dominance. And here's the kicker: while most people are focused on the US and the EU, GCAP has been quietly making significant advancements, especially in integrating AI, advanced sensors, and next-level stealth. The origins of GCAP can be traced back to the UK's Tempest fighter program, but it quickly evolved into something much larger. After Italy joined the project in 2019 and Japan came on board in 2022, the focus shifted from just building a fighter jet to creating an entire ecosystem of aerial warfare capabilities. The name Tempest became less prominent as the partners agreed on the broader mission of GCAP, combining fighter jets, drones, and advanced communications to create a unified combat force. And now, they're fully committed to challenging the dominance of the US and France-Germany's FCAS. One of the biggest advantages GCAP has over its rivals is speed. While NGAD is bogged down by political wrangling and Tempest is still working through its early stages, GCAP has been steadily gaining ground. The joint venture has already unveiled prototypes and begun extensive testing on new engines, radar systems, and stealth technology. At the Farnborough Air Show in 2024, GCAP presented a one-to-one scale model of its new fighter design, and it shocked the audience with its bold, new vision. The updated fighter design now features a true delta wing configuration, which is not only more aerodynamically efficient, but also increases the aircraft's operating range. The size of the wings has been increased significantly, which means more space for internal fuel reserves and payloads. This shift is crucial because modern warfare requires jets to carry more weapons and stay airborne longer. But what really sets GCAP apart is its emphasis on stealth. For decades, stealth technology has been a game changer in military aviation, and GCAP is no exception. The designers have gone to great lengths to ensure that every inch of the aircraft's surface is covered in advanced radar-absorbing materials. The goal is to make the jet nearly invisible to enemy detection systems. But here's where things get really interesting. GCAP's approach to stealth isn't just about avoiding radar. The team is also working on reducing the fighter's heat signature and electromagnetic emissions, making it even harder to track with infrared sensors or electronic warfare systems. And it's not just the airframe that's impressive. GCAP is also focused on weaponry, with each partner country bringing its own expertise to the table. Italy's MBDA Meteor missiles, Britain's Spear 3 missiles, and Japan's ASM-3 anti-ship missiles will all be integrated into the fighter. This multinational approach to armaments ensures that GCAP will have a diverse and powerful arsenal, capable of taking on a wide variety of threats. But perhaps the most significant development is GCAP's collaboration with Airbus's Wingman drones. These drones are designed to accompany the fighter into battle, providing additional firepower and acting as decoys or jammers to confuse enemy defenses. The concept of loyal wingmen isn't new, but GCAP's integration of these unmanned aerial vehicles takes it to the next level. With the drones by its side, the fighter can engage multiple targets at once or carry out complex operations that would be too risky for a single-man jet. Still, there are challenges. While GCAP is making progress, it faces some of the same issues as its competitors, namely cost and production logistics. Building an aircraft of this caliber is no small feat, and some insiders are concerned that the partnership between the UK, Japan, and Italy could face disagreements over manufacturing rights and financial contributions. The cost-sharing model between these nations will need to be carefully balanced to avoid any friction down the line. But for now, it seems that GCAP is on a fast track to becoming a formidable player in the world of air combat. With the first models expected to be operational by the early 2030s, the race is on. But could GCAP's rapid progress shake the balance of power in military aviation? The next generation of air dominance is here. As we look at the sixth-generation fighter landscape, one thing becomes clear. Air combat is about to change in ways we never imagined. Whether it's the US's NGAD, the UK's Tempest, or the multinational GCAP, these new fighters aren't just upgrades on older designs. They represent a fundamental shift in how wars will be fought in the sky. But what does this new era of air dominance really mean for global military power? First, let's talk about the broader implications of these developments. For decades, the US has maintained superiority in the air with advanced fighters like the F-22 and F-35. But with NGAD on pause and GCAP and Tempest advancing rapidly, that supremacy could be at risk. Other countries are catching up, and in some cases, they might even surpass the US in terms of technology and innovation. Take the example of AI integration. While NGAD was supposed to lead the charge in using AI to assist pilots, Tempest and GCAP are moving faster in this area. With their virtual cockpits and AI-driven decision-making systems, these jets could give pilots real-time battlefield intelligence that allows them to outmaneuver enemies in ways that were never possible before. Imagine a scenario where a pilot doesn't have to spend precious seconds analyzing radar data. The AI does it instantly, feeding the most critical information directly into their helmet. This level of situational awareness could make all the difference in a high-stakes dogfight or a covert strike mission. Then there's the matter of stealth. The US has long prided itself on stealth technology, with planes like the B-2 Spirit and F-35 flying virtually undetected in hostile airspace. But now, stealth is becoming a standard feature in fighter jets worldwide. GCAP's redesigned Delta Wing and radar-absorbing materials are on par with, or possibly even superior to, those used by the US. And let's not forget Tempest's directed energy weapons, which could change the game entirely by disabling enemy aircraft without ever firing a missile. Of course, all of this comes with enormous costs. As defense budgets balloon, there's increasing pressure on governments to justify these expenditures to their citizens. In the US, where military spending is always a contentious issue, NGAD's hefty price tag could become a political liability. Across the Atlantic, questions remain about how the UK, Italy, and Japan will manage the financial burden of GCAP. Could these ambitious programs eventually collapse under the weight of their own expenses? But despite the costs and challenges, the development of these sixth-generation fighters represents a new chapter in global military competition. Countries like China and Russia are watching closely, eager to see how these new technologies unfold, and possibly even reverse engineer them for their own use. In fact, there are already reports that China has accelerated its own sixth-generation fighter program in response to the progress made by GCAP and Tempest. For now, the US remains the world leader in military aviation, but that lead is shrinking. If NGAD doesn't get back on track soon, there's a very real possibility that GCAP or Tempest could eclipse American dominance in the skies. What do you think? Will the US regain its lead in air dominance, or is GCAP or Tempest about to take the crown? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more insights into the future of military tech. Thanks for watching.